Have you ever stopped to think about how much your own self-image actually shapes your life? It's not just some fuzzy feeling, it's like the blueprint for everything you do. Today, we're going to dive into a really simple story that shows how just one tiny shift in how you see yourself can completely rebuild your reality. Seriously, from the ground up. All right, so you've probably heard this one a million times, right? What you think about, you become. It's a classic from Napoleon Hill, and yeah, it sounds super powerful. But let's be real, it can also feel a little vague. Like, how does a thought, just a thought, actually have the power to change your entire world? Let's dig into that. And that brings up a really big question, doesn't it? If it's all so simple, if it's just about changing your thoughts, why do so many of us feel stuck? Why do we feel like we're just spinning our wheels? Well, the answer isn't some complicated psychological theory. It's actually found in a very simple, very powerful story. Okay, so let's get into it. Part 1, the premise. And this is all about having a mindset of lack. Our story starts with a man whose entire world, his whole reality, is built around what he doesn't have. It's this belief that's just crippling him. Let's meet him. So picture this. You're in a super busy, bustling train station, and every single day there's a beggar. His whole life revolves around one thing: asking, that's it. His entire existence, day in and day out, is just about receiving, just taking from other people. That's not just his routine, that has become his whole identity. But then, one day, something happens. That whole familiar rhythm of his life, it gets completely shattered. And it's all because of one single, unexpected question. A question that's about to change everything he thinks he knows about himself. So this well-dressed, confident-looking businessman shows up on the platform. Now to the beggar, this isn't just another person. Nope, he's just a target, a potential source of cash, maybe even a bigger payout than usual. It's totally transactional, but the transaction only goes one way. So the beggar does his thing, holds out his hand, totally expecting a coin. But instead of money, he gets this question. Have you ever given anything to anyone? Whoa, can you just imagine? After years and years of only thinking about getting, someone asks you what you've given. It must have just completely short-circuited his brain. It shatters his entire view of the world. And this right here, this is where you see two totally different ways of looking at the world just clash. On one hand, you've got the businessman. His whole philosophy is about exchange, about value for value. But the beggar, he's living in a world of pure lack. He genuinely believes he has absolutely nothing to offer. And in that one moment, these two realities just collide head-on. Okay, part 3, the action. From taking to giving. So the businessman leaves, but his words, they stick around. They're just echoing in the beggar's mind. They planted this little seed of doubt, and it's forcing him to question, well, everything. Everything he thought he knew about who he was. Get this, for 2 full days, the guy doesn't even beg. He's just completely obsessed with this question. That businessman wasn't mean about it, but he was direct, right? And the beggar just can't escape the logic of it. He starts thinking, man, if I can't offer anything, why should anyone give me anything? It's a huge shift. And then something catches his eye. Something he's probably walked past 1,000 times, but never really seen. A little patch of wildflowers growing right there by the tracks. And looking at these simple flowers, an idea just clicks. A totally revolutionary idea. What if I offered something in return? And you know what? The result was incredible. Like, immediately. People start giving more generously. But it's more than that. They're smiling at him, they're thanking him. He starts seeing this clear connection. When he has a flower to give, he gets more in return. Suddenly, he's not just a beggar anymore. He's part of an exchange. All right, so this is where it gets really good. Part 4, the revelation, a new identity. Because this tiny little change in what he's doing starts this massive change in who he is. This is the turning point of the whole story. So fast forward a bit. He sees that same businessman again, but this time it's completely different. There's no shame, none of that feeling of being less than. Instead, he walks right up to him proudly and offers him flowers. He's not asking for a handout this time. He's making a business deal. And the businessman, he smiles. He takes the flower, And then he says something that changes everything. Today, you are no longer just a beggar, you have become a businessman. Wow. He's not just commenting on the flowers, he's basically holding up a mirror and showing the man who he's already become. And that just stops him in his tracks. That question just hangs there. Am I really a businessman now? This is the critical moment. He's been given this new label, this new story for his life, and now he has to choose. Does he believe it? And then it just clicks. The light bulb goes on. He realizes, wait a minute, people aren't giving me money because they feel sorry for me. They're paying for the flowers I give them. It's not charity, it's business. He's not someone to be pitied. He's providing something of value. He is a businessman. And that realization, that changes the whole game. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Part 5, the takeaway, the mirror of self-perception. What does this amazing story actually mean for you and me? Let's break down the lesson here. I mean, look at this journey. It didn't happen overnight, right? It was a process. It started with that one challenging question. Then, on day 3, he takes a small action, offering flowers. Weeks later, he gets that new label, businessman. And then, just 6 months after that, he's a successful flower business owner. It all started with that one little shift in thinking. So you can actually see a clear 4-step path here. Step 1, he had to challenge his worldview, that old story that he had nothing to give. Step 2, he had to offer value, even if it was something small like a flower. Step 3, and this is crucial, he had to internalize his new identity. He had to believe he was a businessman. And finally, step 4, he had to act on that new identity. And this is maybe the most powerful part of the whole story. He eventually says, I realized that I was never really a beggar. I was a businessman all along. I just had to see myself that way. Wow. Think about that. The potential was always inside him. The only thing that had to change was how he saw himself. So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway. Your life is shaped by how you see yourself. It's that simple. If you tell yourself a story that you're small and have nothing to give, well, that's the life you're going to live. But if you see yourself as someone with value, you'll find a way to share that value, and trust me, the world will notice. And that really brings it all back to you, doesn't it? It leads to the one question that truly matters. So, what story are you telling yourself about who you are, about what you can and can't do? Because, as we've just seen, whatever that story is, it has the power to become your absolute reality.